This is the 2010 FIVB Grand Prix. Continuing coverage right here on Universal Sports. Bangkok, Thailand, a huge crowd on hand, and why not? As the host, currently ranked number 12 in the world, take on the United States. The American starting lineup being introduced to this standing room only crowd. Paul Sunderland joined by two-time Olympian Kevin Barnett once again. And the United States coming off a huge win over world number 2 Italy, 3-1. And this will be a match of an entirely different rhythm and look, because the Thais, a very small team by today's standards, are going to have to play very quick and very precisely to compete with the taller and more athletic Americans.
For the Americans, this match is all about their side of the net. This is one of those matches, if you're an elite team in the world, you show up, you beat the opponent down, and you leave the match. Don't give them any life. You play your game, and don't let anything that the other side does dictate your style of play.
Bloomjit will start things off for Thailand. These two teams have met 11 times. Thailand has only won once, but that was last year in this same building, same tournament in the Grand Prix. Thailand had a very good Grand Prix last year. They were 4-5 overall, while the United States was 3 of 6. And an early key for the Americans with that big size advantage. Another early stuff block for Heather Bound.
American blocking has been spectacular through the early part of this tournament and continues. You would expect it to continue during this match. Onuma not able to find a hole in the American wall.
Starting lineup, Heather Bound out of the middle blocking, along with Alicia Glass at the setting position. Stacy Sakura will be the libero. Larson and Tom at the outside hitting positions, and Faluka Akinradawo quickly out of the middle.
That's the execution the Americans want. Free ball coming over, immediately into their offense, and dominating first ball kill.
Heather Bound with the service error, and talking to assistant coach Karch Kirai before the tournament began, he said one of the things he's enjoying the most about working in the women's game is that there are so many different styles of play, vis-a-vis China or Japan, or particularly a team like Thailand. In the men's game today, it's all vanilla. Every team, every good team anyway, plays exactly the same way. And Karch was really enthused about going into a tournament where his team might face 3 or 4 completely different styles.
There hasn't been the same kind of domination on the women's side that there has been on the men's, where world number 1 Brazil has absolutely killed everyone. On the women's side, you've seen China dominate at times, Russia dominate at times, Brazil dominate at times. Italy has risen to that peak. There's a lot of different teams that have a lot of different strengths and weaknesses, so you get more variety. It is more fun to watch.
Logan Tom with the kill, but if you put yourself on the sideline from Thailand, what do they have to do? How do they have to play? What will be their style to have some success, which clearly they have had against some of the world's best teams?
They absolutely have to dig a ton of balls. They have to dig and dig and dig, because they're not going to get it done at the net. What they can do is come in transition and take big swings off the top of the block, right there into the middle of the block. That's not going to work. They're going to have to hit the high hands. They're going to have to vary up their shots and make their offense fast to the pins.
Kentong Malika stuffed on the outside. And middle blockers for the United States have just been doing a fabulous job this second weekend of the Grand Prix. And Destiny Hooker over the top and out of bounds. Speaking of blocking, gave you the numbers if you weren't with us in the opening match of this weekend in Thailand against Italy. 17 blocks against the Dominican Republic, 28 in total against Germany and Poland. They had 28 against Italy in their 3-1 victory.
Absolutely a dominating performance. And sticking out of that, Destiny Hooker with 7 stuff blocks herself out of the opposite position. And a few of the numbers that really jumped out at me from that match, really the United States' best in this tournament. Heather Bound and Faluka Akinradawo had 43 attempts combined, and we talked a lot about the return of Logan Tom. She passed 64% perfect, which is a monster number. She also served 23 times, so in addition to having her own offense and effects there, she provided opportunity for the rest of the team.
Just underway here in the opening set of this best 3 out of 5. The United States out to a quick start, but Thailand coming back not only to tie but to take the lead. And now this crowd is very, very much involved.
So the United States mistakes facing a 3-woman block. I like the aggressiveness from the Thais to get there and get in front of the American hitters.
And that ball, is it ruled a touch? Yes, a touch detected. And that ends a 3-0 run. There is Heike Kraft of Germany. She is the head referee, being assisted by Susana Rodriguez of Spain. Logan Tom, wearing number 15 in red, serving here, joining the American squad for the second weekend. Talk about making your presence felt. What a difference. She raised the entire level of the American team's play against Italy.
And there it is, a tough serve. It doesn't go down as an ace. You won't see it in the stat column for Logan Tom. But you do see a free ball come over and an immediate kill from the American side.
Destiny Hooker, registering the successful kill, had 19 points in the 3-1 win over Italy. Hooker again over the top and off the defense. That's the way Thailand wants to play, but they don't have a Destiny Hooker to go to at the end of rallies. The United States and Thailand just underway here from Bangkok. Opening set. Logan Tom continuing to serve, coming out of the opening technical timeout. First set, trying to add to a 3-0 run, and misses that out of bounds. If you're just joining us, the United States is 2-2 so far. They'll play 9 preliminary round matches. They were 1-2 coming off of their pool in Poland last week, defeated Italy here in Bangkok, Thailand, whereas the Thais got off to a very slow start in Chengdu, China. Lost to the Netherlands, lost to China, lost to Puerto Rico, but then did come back and beat the Puerto Ricans once again and now stand at 1-3.
In fact, the Thais did not win a single set during that weekend. Came in and played a bit more free against Puerto Rico, and here against the United States, that's another thing the Thais have to do, is they just have to play free. No expectations, play their style of ball, dig a lot of balls, and try to see if they can frustrate the American hitters into errors.
And off the top of the block, successfully done by Thailand. It's exactly what they need. Malika with the kill.
See that high
good memories,
swing.
Good high swing, and good memories from this same building and this same matchup last year when Thailand beat the United States for the very first time. Block straight down again. Big 3-woman block for the United States.
This whole match is going to be an exercise in blocking discipline for the Americans. It's a good positioning. Don't reach up. Make sure you reach over. You'll stuff a ton of balls by just going straight over against these smaller outside hitters. What a read from Socorro. Great positioning on defense.
And that ball off the American block and out of bounds. The official looking for some help on the touch and gets it. We've mentioned Stacy Socorro many, many times. She's in the starting lineup now in the place of Nicole Davis. Your thoughts on her play as opposed to Davis at that spot?
I think Socorro's done a great job. She's fiery. She helps those around her be better. I think we've seen a little bit of that from Davis, but just her passing. You look at Socorro, she steadies out the reception. She provides a lot of opportunities to run the middle, both in service reception and in digging.
Another stuff block. Stacy Socorro, the aforementioned, number 5 in the white jersey right there. The off-colored jersey as the libero, a long international career, has appeared in 3 Olympic Games for the United States.
She's always so active with everyone between plays, pushing people, exciting people, talking about the next play, where to position. She really reads the game so well.
That ball hit out of bounds. Nice dig by Hugh McCutcheon, a former national team player for New Zealand.
He still has it.
Hugh McCutcheon moving over to the women's side after directing the men's program to that Olympic championship in 2008, assisted by none other than Karch Kira. And that ball, no whistle. Destiny Hooker didn't look like she got it up. And that shot off the block by Thailand.
Good job by Thailand not to stop and protest that ball. just continue playing, get right back into their transition. We're starting to see some of the speed of Thailand. When they pass the ball well, they will go fast to the pins or fast out of the back row.
Step out, crushed by Heather Bound. But Thailand has to pass the ball perfectly.
Well, their margin for error is about nothing. In the whole match, they have to be perfect if they expect to defeat the United States the way the United States is playing in this second weekend.
This Thai women's national team has really garnered their nation's support. Huge crowds welcoming them back at the airport after they beat China in the Asian Championships last year. That was in Hanoi, Vietnam.
Well, I like the athleticism and the arm swings of Thailand. You can tell that they've been coached extremely well. And their Malika, number 15, out of the back row, really getting on that ball hard. Like to see that.
That ball, jump floater, just out of bounds. And Alicia Glass in the lineup for the United States since the opening set in Poland, a 3-1 win against the Dominican Republic, but that's a lifetime ago. This tournament just moves on. 9 preliminary matches around the world. And another service error. The United States, as mentioned, began this tournament in Gdynia, Poland, and now the second week in Bangkok, Thailand. Next week, a short hop, skip, and a jump to Hong Kong, where they'll face China, Germany, and Thailand once again. Stuff block once again on that very tight pass. Logan Tom getting the job done. Teams will head to the sidelines. Tied at 5 early, the United States led 8-6, but now extending that thanks to some superb blocking by the Americans. Logan Tom continues to serve for Team USA coming out of the second technical timeout. The Americans with a big lead over Thailand. The United States appearing in the 17th Grand Prix. There have been 18 overall. They only missed this tournament once in 1999. Americans won the bronze medal in 03 and 04. They were 4th in 2008. Last year, forgettable, they were 9th. And won this tournament twice in 1995 and 2001. And now a 4-0 run with emphasis and exclamation by Feluka Akinradowo. And an easy time for the United States. Executing, passing the ball. And as you said, Kevin Barnett, before this match started, everything was on their side of the net. And the Americans in complete control, leading as Thailand calls timeout.
Absolutely. Alicia Glass doing a nice job of, again, running the offense. She's being allowed to do that because the U.S. is handling the ball well in service reception and in transition. And the U.S. should have a huge advantage in the middle. Akinradowo and Bound should get the ball, continue to get the ball, and move around. I'd like to see some more of that creativity that we saw towards the end of the Italy match when the U.S. got in rhythm. There was some double quick. There was some stuff out of the back row. You were moving Heather Bound close to the setter, in front of the setter, behind the setter. I like all that stuff.
Katapong Ratachingrai, the head coach for Thailand, done such an exceptional job over the last several years. Again, they're the reigning Asian champions. Thailand really hasn't offered much in terms of resistance so far, so you don't get an idea of how much better the United States is playing this weekend as opposed to past. You certainly saw lots of examples of that against Italy. Service error by Tom, so point possession goes back to Thailand. And Thailand, again, you mentioned their margin for error infinitesimal, and they've served 3 or 4 balls out of bounds.
Thailand is not a team that is going to beat other teams that often. What they will do is frustrate other teams into beating themselves, into making mistakes, hitting balls out, because hitters are getting dug too many times. They start trying to overswing, and I think Thailand does a good job of taking advantage of that. But if they don't serve the ball in, there's no chance for a hitter error from the opponent.
That ball off the block and out of bounds. Rack up another kill for Panthong Malika.
I like the Thai hitters. They're not afraid of a block. They are smaller, so they can't be. They work well off the block. They change the direction of the ball, hitting off hands, taking advantage of matchups. And that's one thing that young hitters, when they come to the game, need to learn how to do, is change the direction of the ball. Hit a definite line or a definite angle.
After yet another perfect pass, Heather Bound slamming that ball off the Thai block.
After the first weekend, Alicia Glass definitely was told to keep the middle involved. Don't let the middle go away for large periods of time, and she is doing that.
Cynthia Barbosa, as has been the pattern now for Hugh McCutcheon, will take out Destiny Hooker. Barbosa will come in just for this one rotation to serve. Barbosa, the former multi-time All-American at Stanford University.
There's just so much athleticism and potential on this American side. It's a very exciting time for women's volleyball in the United States.
Well, we didn't think that last week, but I agree with you.
It didn't look like it.
No, it didn't.
The potential's still there. It just wasn't coming out. But now with a couple of changes, we're starting to see a little bit of it. When you have the consistency and you have that stabilization of a Sakura, of a Tom, that allows the creativity and the athleticism to be expressed a bit more.
Apinapong Vilavan back to serve, and Heather Bound. Alicia Glass didn't get a lot of good passes last week in Poland, so you can't get confident. You can't get in a good rhythm. The improved passing, wow, is she connecting with Akinradowo and, of course, with Heather Bound, as you saw there. Heather
Bound is detonating on that backslide.
And Larson is stuffed out of the middle. Thailand needing to get this crowd, keep this big crowd, standing room only, involved. Americans, after being tied at 5-5, led 16-12, and then Hugh McCutcheon's team is now out to a 5-point advantage. Logan Tom first with a block, teaming with Heather Bound, and then with a tap down. And the lead continues to expand for the United States.
Americans continue to do a good job of handling balls that are on top of the net. Overpasses and opportunities where it's popped up. The United States hitters have done a great job of terminating those balls.
And that ball just catching a piece of the sideline, looked well long, but will not be overruled by Heike Kraft, the head referee from Germany.
Heike Kraft indicating a touch there. Ball through the right hand.
That's close, very close.
Of Alicia Glass.
Tomkan Nutsara now serving. A lot of short serves coming from Thailand. And on the step out, Akinradowo right over the top of the Thai block once again.
Good communication from the U.S. side and way to play to their strength. You saw Sakura. Everyone cleared out. Sakura identified very quickly. That was her pass. And then again, Alicia Glass making good choices, taking advantage of where the U.S. offense can. That backslide is open every time.
The United States could not ask for a better start against Thailand right now in Bangkok. Look at this. What an atmosphere. Absolutely jam-packed. A smallish arena, if you will, by Grand Prix standards. Capacity 5,400. I know the fire marshal in Bangkok, so there are about 8,000 in there.
You hear them on every play. Whenever Thailand digs the ball, you hear the crowd. It is a fun environment to be a part of.
Right side once again, ripped down the line. Beautiful swing by Anuma off of Logan Tom.
I like the smiles. I like the attitude on the Thai side. They're getting beat, but they're still playing. They're still positive. They're not down themselves. They're not so serious. A fun team to watch.
Chaisi Tapaipan now on to serve for Thailand. The United States just 2 points away from closing out the opening set. That is just golden right now.
Every time.
Perfect combination once again, but it all starts with a pass right on target, making Alicia Glass's job very easy and allowing her mind to work. Not just hurrying to set a ball, but to be creative.
Absolutely. She's not reacting, she's planning.
Set point number 1, Logan Tom serving. And rejected once again by Akinradou or Destiny Hooker. And that is set number 1 to the United States, easily done over Thailand. So the United States, Kevin, coming off a solid performance against Italy, just continuing that, taking care of their side of the net.
The biggest thing on their side of the net is confidence. That's what we didn't see in week 1 was confidence. They were reactive to everything that was going on in front of them, not proactive. Now they are playing their style of volleyball.
And Feluca said, hey, it wasn't Destiny. Feluca Akinradou, it may have been Destiny. Feluca Akinradou swatting that ball out of the sky here in Thailand. The United States wins the opening set. 25. United States serving after taking the opening set 25-18. Bangkok, Thailand is the site. Competition, the FIVB 2010 Grand Prix. 12 teams in competition to start. Last week, the United States went 1-2 in Poland, but off to a very, very good start in Thailand, beating number 2 Italy 3-1. But this is no easy task against Thailand, the reigning Asian champions, and a team that beat the United States for the very first time in this building in this tournament last year.
I thought the Americans did a great job in set number 1, controlling the tempo and doing what they wanted to do, executing their offense, keeping the Thais off balance, and again the block just continues to roll.
Look at Logan Tom once again, just frustrating, changing pace, changing spin, changing location.
And she's going to the right spot. She's going over Nutsara, the setter, number 13. She's working on a smaller blocker. I asked you a question about Logan Tom because you hear that sometimes other players have to learn to play with Logan Tom. I said, well, what does that mean? And he said, listen, she has been great in our gym. She's a special athlete. She has incredible experience in volleyball IQ, but she is so demanding and competitive. She's demanding of herself and her teammates that the system she does best in is a meritocracy. As long as it's a meritocracy, she's fine. And he said she has really been a great addition to his gym and the level and tempo every single day when you're on this team, not just during the matches.
I just think that, like so few players, she just sees the game differently and oftentimes can't understand why other people don't see it through her eyes.
You're absolutely right. And one of the things he mentioned was that she's affected by poor play from others. So if she doesn't see that effort, it bothers her. As long as that effort's there, everything's great.
Thailand off to a nice energetic start here in the second set, playing their style. Quick transition, lots of emotion. They're not going to block a lot of balls, but they better dig a lot.
Vaughn, number 10, their captain, out of the back row. She's their main offensive weapon. And again, I like the technical arm swings these women have. They really do a nice job of extending over and being able to control the ball with their hand and wrist.
Well, Numa serving the ball out of bounds. Several service errors in that opening set for Thailand really helped to determine their fate. The United States easily winning the opening set. And a block on the outside that time against Vaughn. Destiny Hooker, how good can she be? Just getting her feet underneath her, getting her feet wet, if you will. First international experience. Combination play dug by Sapporo, but a net violation called against the United States.
There's the speed, there's the creativity on the Thailand side. As soon as they pass the ball well, they know they have small hitters, they have to move them around. I like that little X1 play, that inside left attack we saw from Vaughn.
Alika back to serve now for Thailand, and they miss yet another.
They can't afford that.
The American and Thai pool in Bangkok. The other two pools this weekend in Macau, including China, Brazil, the Netherlands, and the Dominican Republic. And in Okayama, Japan, it's the host, Poland, Germany, and Chinese Taipei. We'll give you those other pool results when we have a moment. Logan Tom through the free woman block for Thailand, easily putting that ball away.
That has become a common set for Alicia Glass. As soon as she gets pushed, off to the right side of the floor, and off the net she goes right to that pipe attack with Logan Tom. Was effective against Italy in the previous match.
Tom did not play last summer with the national team, trained some but did not compete. But remember, the last time she played in the Grand Prix tournament, she was the second leading scorer in the preliminary round. Larson through the tie block and down, and now the United States getting some separation here in the early going of the second set, leading over Thailand 8-3. Bangkok, Thailand, the 2010 FIVB Grand Prix of Women's International Volleyball. Destiny Hooker in the United States off to a very good start. Easily won the opening set 25-18. And now up 8-3 over Thailand. Logan Tom misses that ball out of bounds. Logan Tom will be playing professionally in China next year. That's going to be the fourth country in which she's played professionally. I'm quite certain about Japan, Italy, and Russia. And now next year playing for her old Olympic coach, Jenny Long Ping.
A unique opportunity. I think the first player I've heard of, men's or women's, to go to China to play.
Would have liked to have negotiated that contract. Would have liked better to get the 10%.
I'm sure it's a good one.
Good tap down by Thailand on the outside that time by Willie Wan. Mentioned the other pools in Okinawa, Japan. The Japanese continue to surprise, beat Germany in their opening match in Okayama, excuse me, and then beat Poland 3-1. So now Japan improves to 4-1 in the early going of this Grand Prix.
That's the biggest surprise of this tournament, is the play of Japan.
The other big surprise is how absolutely dominant the American block has been. Win or lose, blocking has been an absolute staple. Heather Bound, Faluka Akinradawo, the centerpieces of that blocking effort.
It's amazing to me that they're that good at blocking, given the age of this team. Usually young players come to the game, the last thing they're able to master is blocking. But the United States system has looked great. Even in losses, they have blocked a ton of balls, and then facing the best competition they have in this tournament thus far in Italy, they block more balls than they have in the tournament. It's absolutely great.
Heather Bound would be very appreciative that you alluded to her as being young, given the fact that she's 31 years of age and a two-time Olympian.
Heather Bound is still very young at heart.
The other pool is in Macau. Catch you up on that as that ball is out of bounds. Brazil beat the Dominican Republic 3-0. China beat the Netherlands, also in a sweep. Brazil then beat the Netherlands 3-1. And get this, China loses to the DR, the Dominican Republic, at home. Macau is home in China now.
China is guaranteed an opportunity to be in the finals, so they have a chance to play some younger players, perhaps gain some experience and look at different combinations that might work for the finals. Saw that with Argentina in the recently concluded World League on the men's side. They had a horrible preliminary round, but they used it and they played better once it came time to play in the finals.
Ace serve following a hitting error by Heather Bound, and now Thailand made a very brief run in the opening set, and now a 3-0 run to make it 11-9.
These are the runs the United States needs to shut down.
Bad pass once again, and that's, wow, United States gets bailed out. Obvious net violation that time by Thailand. That was Onuma with a violation, getting the United States off the hook. And that ball ripped through the block once again. Nicely done.
Number 18, Emon. Good tempo to the outside. You see the American block not that well formed, and Emon taking advantage of the hole.
Fansut Emon, 22 years of age, 5'9", which makes her one of the taller Thai players, a very undersized team by today's standards. But they have a unique style, and it has paid dividends. They're currently ranked number 12 in the world, and the reigning Asian champions. A rare misconnection by Akinradawo and Alicia Glass, and Thailand taking full advantage. Wiliwan with a kill on the outside.
Great footwork from Wiliwan to get off the net, get back, and attack that quick attack. Footwork so important for outside hitters.
You can see Thailand trying to get their emotions going, and with this crowd as well.
It's the right play. Go get it. Come on. Heads up. Servers. We're good. They're all struggling a little bit. So don't feel like you got to slice and dice. Good serve in will get us going. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Don't feel like you have to do too much. You heard that. Don't slice and dice. When you're playing a team like Thailand, do what you do well. Don't try and overdo it because you perceive weakness in the opponent. I like the way Hugh McCutcheon coaches. You don't hear a ton of technical information. The technical work is done in practice. That's when you do all your technical work. When you get to the matches, there's a little bit of technical stuff, but just trying to keep the emotion going the right way, and the players have to play. The players have to feel it and execute. The coach can't affect real technical change during a match. That's practice work.
Another very untimely service error by Onuma of Thailand. Oh, beautiful cut shot. I would guess, given some of the beauties of the coastline of Thailand, that they've got some pretty good beach players. But that was a very nice slice and dice that time by Kantong Malika. And she will serve for Thailand in blue. Nice play, quickly done out of the middle. 7-2 run for Thailand. Remember, they trailed 8-3 at the beginning of this second set.
That's a great set coming from 7 feet off. What a delivery. Beautiful opportunity, and Plumjit does a good job of keeping the ball high over the Americans.
Another service error. And Thailand, they're not going to jump serve. They're not going to jump float. This is just an inordinate number of errors. And unforced.
Yeah, Paul, in set number 1, the Thais with 4 service errors, and right on their way here in set number 2.
Swing out of the pipe on Numa with the kill. And here Thailand is right in it. Net violation, 3 service errors. Thailand not playing very well, but still somehow they've managed to get back in this second set. And Logan Tom tapping off the Thai block.
Boy, great job Logan Tom does there with that set. That set is low. It's a little bit too fast. Logan Tom realizing that, just making a quick snap move and redirecting the ball. That's a play that would turn into a tip for so many other players.
And stuffed again by Hooker and Bound. And the United States let their 8-3 lead slip away. We're tied at 13, but now have scored a couple to take the advantage at the technical timeout. Faluk Akinradawo will continue to serve for the United States, leading Thailand 1-0. Paul Sunderland back with 2-time Olympian Kevin Barnett. This is the FIVB Grand Prix.
Akinradawo has done a nice job from the service line with that jump float. I mentioned that 23 times Logan Tom served against Italy. The next highest player was Akinradawo with 22. And what that tells you is that the team is scoring points when Akinradawo is serving.
Wiliwan with the kill once again. That quick combination play off the left side. And Heather Bound just absolutely unloading. See, easy serves from the United States. Back to what head coach Hugh McCutcheon said. Don't have to slice and dice. Serve tough, serve in, let our block and defense do the work, as Barbosa comes in to try to do exactly that.
Absolutely. When your block and defense has been playing the way the United States has, you don't need the service pressure. It's been nice that they've had some of that, but don't make too many errors.
Step out. Beautiful dig by Thailand. and the block for the United States, finishing the play. There's no backing down in Thailand. This is just a rocket.
Great reaction right here. Alicia Glass in the middle, the setter, reacts to that ball and gets up and blocks in the middle. Beautiful job by number 2.
Well, if you find yourself out of position, don't panic, just stay there. And a timeout once again taken by Thailand as the United States getting some separation. Katapong Ranchadagringkai is the outstanding head coach for Thailand, a former national team player, and then moved over to head up this women's effort for Thailand. Barbosa again. Combination play, nicely put to the floor that time by Onuma. Onuma and Malika, the outstanding outside attackers and combination hitters for Thailand. And so far, they have been very, very quiet. United States won the opening set 25-18, leading here in the second 18-16. Blunjit now for Thailand. And the combination not there. One-on-one rejection by Jordan Larson.
But Jordan Larson comes right back, stays in the play off a bad pass. Does a good job reacting to the backslide.
And crushed to the floor easily that time. And look at the body language now for Thailand. Shoulders dropping. They were tied at 13 against the United States moments ago. It was a very solid run. Good serve by Jordan Larson. And Logan Tom cutting that ball off the block once again.
Another good shot from Logan Tom and her volleyball IQ on display.
Timeout taken by Thailand. Logan Tom back with the national team for the first time since 2008. A graduate of Stanford University, originally from Salt Lake City, has had a very unique career. Outstanding indoors, starting all the way back in Sydney when she was just a teenager, and then playing also in Athens, and then winning a silver medal in Beijing, and tried her hand out on the beach. And as we talked about during the match against Italy, and I asked you the question, is she one of the top 5 players in the world? And you answered.
Yes, absolutely. And the reason why is she's a complete player. Similar to Reed Pretty on the men's side, one of the other stars for the Americans, she's a complete player. Offense, defense, serving, blocking. She really does a great job in every phase.
And an outstanding athlete in her own right. It's not just about the technique and the knowledge of the game. She has the athleticism to go along with it. That ball crushed down the line. An early whistle that time confused the United States. Still with a 4-point advantage.
Alicia Glass has made some good reactions on the block. She's in a pretty good position there.
A net violation that was called very sublimely by the umpire. I don't think anybody saw the signal, but it was sorted out correctly. Point possession back to Thailand. Tongkon Masura now serving. Look at that pass by Logan Tom. That was an outstanding short serve, and Logan Tom just completely stretched out to make the play possible.
Perfect pass and another great delivery from Alicia Glass. I hit her last week for really not having good location, not making good choices. Of course, she was on the run most of the time.
Had her track shoes on.
Now she has really steadied out. I like her choices, and her location on the backslide has been awesome.
Heather Bound with a rare service mistake for the United States. After that good bit of insight from head coach Hugh McCutcheon about just get the ball in play, serve good spots. That's a rare and infrequent mistake.
If I'm on the U.S. side coaching staff, I like this opportunity here. Thailand, you didn't expect perhaps much of a match. Even though coaches always say it's going to be a tough match, he maybe didn't expect a great match. 22-19, an opportunity for the United States again to continue building that confidence late in sets and putting teams out of sets.
Chaisi Tapapaikon on to serve for Thailand. And not good timing there, but just enough of a paintbrush to put that ball away.
That's just the height advantage right there. That's all that is. Akinradewo able to extend and just get enough on that ball.
Akinradewo, 6'3", great leaper, just 22 years of age. What a future. And that ball nicely off the block and out of bounds by Thailand. But trailing 23-20. And another service error. Boy, this more than anything is not only out of character for Thailand to make so many mistakes, but it's just killed their hopes of staying with the much bigger and much more physical Americans.
4 service errors in the first set, 5 in the second set. Not going to translate into Thailand's success.
First of 4 set points for Logan Tom. There's the combination play again. Glass almost there. That's what you have to face as a defensive squad when Thailand is passing the ball perfectly, which they have not been. Very, very quick combinations. Vilivan with the key. And Jordan Larson easily with a kill over the top of the block. So 4 set points available, needed 2 of them, and now the United States leads 2-0 over Thailand. Well, much to the dismay of what was a very enthusiastic crowd in Bangkok, Thailand, the United States easily winning the opening set 25-18. A little bit more of a struggle in the second. They led only 16-14 at the second technical timeout, but closed it out nicely 25-21. And now first serve of the third in this best 3 out of 5 set match. Heather Bound nicely off the tie block and out of bounds.
Heather Bound has hit clean so many times in that backslide. As soon as she saw a block, I like it. Cut very hard across the ball and get that to go off the block and out.
The Thai women are still smiling, but I'm not sure about what. They're the reigning Asian champions playing at home. I'm sure they had high expectations for this match. They notched their first win against Puerto Rico in the opener in Bangkok after being absolutely shut down in Chengdu, China. They lost in straight sets to the Netherlands, China, and the aforementioned Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rico, the next match, incidentally, for the United States.
Thailand has not played that poorly throughout this match. Really, they have 9 service errors. They've only lost 11 points. They're down by 11 points through 2 sets, so clean that up, and the Thais have a chance to really be in this.
Violation called against Alicia Glass, setting the ball that had violated the plane of the net. Pretty good effort by Glass. That was a tight call. Short serve once again, handled by Alicia Glass very adroitly. Dig by Larson, kill by Logan Tom on the outside, and the Americans, after winning the second set, get out to a very, very good start.
Great footwork by Logan Tom. She really had to hustle to get back to that left side and be available to hit.
Combination play is blocked once again. American block not putting up huge numbers in this match because Thailand has been out of sync and been out of system so much, but still there when they need to be. Glass once again. Beautiful kill off the right side by Onuma, ends a 3-0 run by the United States. The Americans, again, putting up huge blocking numbers against Italy. 28 stuff blocks in the 3-1 victory. And another service error for Thailand. But still smiling.
Still smiling. Not playing well, but still smiling.
Stacey Sakura has been another big positive for the United States this second weekend. And off the block. A couple previous rotations, Jordan Larson digs, Logan Tom kills. Now they return the favor for one another.
We haven't really touched on the performance of the defense. We've talked so much about the block because the numbers have been way out there, but their defense, the United States defense, has really done a nice job of being in good spots.
And right on cue, look at that dig once again by Logan Tom. And Destiny Hooker getting her feet moving and putting that ball away.
The talent and the athleticism the United States has is on display as they look to put Thailand out of this match. They lead 2-0.
Thailand in the near court, the United States in the far, cruising 2-0, 8-2. Paul Sunderland back with Kevin Barnett. This is the 2010 FIVB Grand Prix. Second weekend, and the United States well on their way to have done at least all the heavy lifting for this weekend. They beat Italy to get to 500 at 2-2 matches won and lost after a slow start in Poland last week. It looks like they're well on their way to taking out Thailand, and then next up will be Puerto Rico, a team that Thailand beat quite easily.
Yeah, a slow start for the Americans in this tournament, but they have a great road going forward with a victory here, and then Puerto Rico. I would assume the United States will defeat Puerto Rico, and then an opportunity for revenge with Germany to come back and play better. The United States did not play well when they played Germany in the first round. Then Thailand again, and finish up with China, a Chinese team that's been way up and down. I expect to see this U.S. team in the finals.
Killed by Akinradua one more time. If you're just joining us, the United States, a disappointing performance last week in Gdynia, Poland. They beat the Dominican Republic and then lost to Germany and Poland 3-1. And when I say disappointing, because Germany and Poland are quality teams, the United States did not play well. Too many mistakes. They didn't receive serve. They couldn't put balls away in transition. You add Logan Tom to the mix. Better passing. Stacey Sakura playing exceptionally well. And I know we're repeating ourselves, but for those of you just joining our coverage, the United States playing at an entirely different level for all those reasons and more.
This tournament and this year is all about the United States side. Anytime they enter a match, they're spending 80% of their time talking about themselves and the way they're going to play and control a match. It's not about the opponent. The United States has a lot of learning to do, a lot of establishing culture and identity. They're doing that. We're seeing that happen just inside of this tournament. They have so much work to do. At some time later, it will shift to what can we do against the opponent after they've established their own side. That'll happen late next year on into 2012 in the Olympic year.
And Destiny Hooker with the service winner. When I watch Destiny Hooker with her ability at 6'4", as Thailand calls timeout, it seems like her jump serve could just be a much bigger and better weapon. She's like a fastball pitcher somewhere in between, just trying to throw strikes as opposed to blow people away.
That's one of the things I wonder about the women's game. With the increasing power and athleticism of these women that are amazing, they're tall, they jump high, they're strong. Why aren't there more big jump serves in the game from the United States side? I think part of it lays with the NCAA in the United States, where you have so many substitutions and you have so many players coming in. Middles in particular never play the game. They essentially go across the front row and they are done. And there's so many other people subbed in to do specific jobs. I want to see more complete players coming to this game. So it leaves Huma Kutchin and Karch Krai with a lot greater job to do when these players arrive internationally. Even somebody like Destiny Hooker with amazing talent, she needs to be taught to jump serve. I want to see that. In 2 years' time, she should be a weapon from the service line.
So at this point, I'd rather have her work on her jump serve in practice and use a jump float serve in matches, because, you know, that's just easy to gobble up, that particular jump serve.
That is too easy, but the only way you learn to hit it hard is by doing it in matches. You have to get after it. I want to see her hit it hard here. Good. That's okay. Now's the time. 13-4. Now is the time to work on that skill in a match. Learn to do it in a match.
In spite of that jump serve error, the United States, one streak after another, and having an easy time with Thailand here in the third set, already leading 2-0. What a play by Sakura. And then Bound off the block and out of bounds.
Bound gets the point, but Sakura makes that happen. What an incredible read. She saw that well before it happened. Look, she's all the way into the right back to make that play.
The United States playing in the Grand Prix for the 17th time. They have only missed one opportunity. And Hooker off the block and out of bounds. So the United States won the bronze medal in 2003 and 2004, fourth in 2008. And after a very disappointing performance when they were just 3 and 6, I should say, in 9th last year, they are looking to get back to the finals. That's coming up in Chengdu, China, starting on the 25th of August. And if they block like this and play like they have so far in Bangkok, they may well make the final 6, but still lots of work to do. Back with more after this on Universal Sports. The United States continues to cruise against Thailand. Jordan Larson played exceptionally well opposite Logan Tom, both serving well, both playing superb defense, and that ball hit right on the baseline. Again, the final opponent in Bangkok for the United States will be Puerto Rico before they head off to Hong Kong. As you mentioned previously, Kevin, they will play China, and then the other two opponents they'll be very familiar with. Germany looking for some revenge, and Thailand as well.
Thailand just sinking themselves, already down 16-6, now going ahead and throwing another service error.
Not a good performance at all by Thailand, a team that beat the United States for the very first time last year in the Grand Prix.
They're not playing their best volleyball right now. I thought through sets 1 and 2 they played some good volleyball, minus the service errors. Had a real chance, but credit to the United States. They've controlled this match. They have done what they wanted to do on their side of the net, run their offense. There have been some nice defensive plays, good blocks at the net. The United States continues to play good team volleyball.
We talked about the practice schedule that the Grand Prix allows, and the teams being able to spend some time together, 3 weeks on the road. And the United States has already completed its most difficult bit of travel from Poland all the way to Thailand. Next week, Hong Kong, if they make the finals, then on to Chengdu. So they can have 7 or 8 quality days in the gym and can maybe take their game, get to another level. Cruising here in the third set, the United States already leading 2-1. And given what you've seen so far, do your favorites still remain the same with respect to if and when the Americans get to the final? We're getting way ahead of the game, still a lot of work to do, but who do you think still are the favorites in this tournament?
I'd move the United States up in there. I would take China down for the moment based on their performance thus far, but I still think that Italy can play better. I think Brazil will be right up in there, and I think the United States has to be in that discussion.
Well, what a change a week makes. Poor start in Poland, and now I think I agree with you. If the United States plays like this, there's not a team in the tournament, maybe for Brazil. At this time, I'm not sure that even this United States team playing at its absolute maximum could challenge Brazil. But then again, let's remember Brazil lost to Japan at home.
I think it'd be a great match. I think it'd be a great match the way the United States is playing at this point.
Katapong Ratchadagringkai, the head coach for Thailand, got to be very disappointed with his team's effort, but more importantly, their execution. So many service errors. When their team is built around transition and defense, you serve the ball out of bounds, you eliminate both of those opportunities, and that's the style of play that this crowd has come to love and enjoy from their team and really get involved in the match. Logan Tom with a rare error from the service line. Just missed that one. You can see the spin rate. No spin on that ball at all. Jordan Larson with some defense. Has this American team improved from one week to the next? That play right there says it all. Everybody involved.
Absolutely. Point scoring. And you see Sikora identifying the ball early, and once again another middle attack. Alicia Glass likes that middle attack on an easy free ball. It has been very effective.
Mentioned the next opponent for the United States is Puerto Rico. Doesn't get any easier for Thailand. Next up will be number 2, Italy. Italy easily dispatching Puerto Rico also in this match to get to 1-1 in this second pool.
One thing I like about what Hugh McCutcheon is doing here, he's up 21-9. You haven't seen any substitutions. There is no garbage time. His team is in a rhythm. This group is playing well together. Keep them out there. Keep them going. I expect to see the same group and then starting the next match.
Make an interesting point as the United States, in spite of that nice play by Thailand, is well on its way. Karch Kirai and Hugh McCutcheon, in talking to this team before the tournament, the most valuable things we have together are matches. Never miss an opportunity to play every point as well and as hard as you possibly can, because you're going to play maybe 40 matches a summer together as a national team. You cannot take for granted 1 second together on the court. To your point about no substitutions here late when this is clearly over.
There are no garbage points. There is no garbage match. And I think that point will have to come home when the United States faces Thailand again, with Thailand going out of the match the way they are. When the United States faces them again, all more pressure is going to be on the United States side to come and play at the same level they have during this match.
That ball nicely off the block and out of bounds. So Thailand's not going to go away. Wheelivon with another kill, particularly here at home.
Now, the Thais are still playing hard, as are the Americans. This has not turned into just a serve back and forth and end this match. There is still some good volleyball being played.
Save by Alicia Glass brings a 3-0 run by Thailand to an end. Destiny Hooker still struggling with that jump serve. Last minute substitution. Satirak Anuma coming back on. And Thailand staying right in the play and eventually tipped to the floor that time by Glass.
What I like in the middle of that rally is the aggressiveness of Stacy Sikora on free balls and on passing. She wants to handle the ball. When you have a libero like that, it takes all the pressure off your outside hitters and allows them to do so many other things inside of the match.
That's the second time that Heather Bound absolutely rearranged the world of Apinyapan Wheelivon. Wearing number 10 in blue. Logan Tom, one-legged takeoff and still puts that ball away. Match point now for the United States. Solid effort, and it's going to be an easy win for the Americans to improve to 3-2. And Destiny Hooker getting the job once again. Balanced attack for the United States against Italy. All 5 attackers in double figures, and pretty good distribution once again for the Americans as they win it easily, 3-0.
Good performance from the American side. Nice, strong finish to this match after a couple of closer sets. A couple of numbers that stick out: 16 blocks continuing for the Americans, but 35% reception. Not a great number. The Americans still have work to do.
Final match in Thailand will be against Puerto Rico. The United States now 3-2 as they get out to a great start dispatching Thailand. For Kevin Barnett, I'm Paul Sunderland. So long.